Hey there, Pi fam! Are you ready to dive into the latest Pi update that's shaking up the crypto world? Starting this May, the Pi mining rate has been adjusted and it's got everyone talking. But before you hit panic mode, let's break it down. We're talking about Pi's future, Bitcoin's challenges, and how Pi is positioned for success unlike ever before. Plus, we'll discuss the latest verification requirements and what it means for you. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Watch now and join the conversation in the comments below. Welcome to Crypto News Now channel, your daily dose for Pi Network news. If you're interested in anything around Pi Network, this is the place for you. Subscribe if you want to stay updated with all the Pi Network news predictions and stay one step ahead in the crypto world. Make sure you hit the like button for us to provide you with more Pi Network news. And also, don't forget to drop Pi Network to the moon and your country name in the comment section below. With that being said, let's dive right in. The basic Pi mining rate has changed again. Alright Pi family, here's the deal. Beginning in May 2024, the basic Pi mining rate will be adjusted to 0.0055747 Pi per hour. This implies you'll earn approximately 0.13 Pi every day, just keeping the Pi app open and pressing the lightning bolt. Over the course of the month of May, that only equates to roughly 4 Pi in simple mining earnings. You might be wondering why the Pi Core team is lowering our mining rates again. While it may appear frustrating at first, have an open mind. Remember, the goal is to minimize inflation while increasing Pi's future acceptance and value. The lower the mining rate, the more difficult Pi becomes to obtain. This growing scarcity may boost Pi's value once it hits real-world markets and cryptocurrency exchanges. Similar to how Bitcoin's value rose after its mining rewards were halved every 4 years. Let's compare Bitcoin's condition to what will happen with Pi mining in 2024. How does the rate of change in Pi relate to the number of occurrences in Bitcoin? For those who do not know, Bitcoin goes through a process known as a halving every 4 years or so. Essentially, mining profits are decreased by 50% for each attempt to restrict fresh Bitcoin supply. Bitcoin has already been through 3 of these events. The 4th one was finished in April 2024. Prior to the finished one, miners are currently paid 6.25 Bitcoin for each successful block they mine. Following completion, the reward for each block was reduced to 3.125 Bitcoin. In the past, these recurring Bitcoin events have led BTC's price to rise as supply is limited. Existing holders huddle tighter, new investors rush in to chase gains, and miners labor harder to obtain the lower payouts. However, because to skyrocketing electricity costs, the position for Bitcoin miners in late 2024 appears to be extremely problematic. This is the mind-boggling portion. According to estimates, the electricity cost alone for mining a single Bitcoin after the fact will be between $42,000 and $45,000. And that's without including additional operational expenses. With Bitcoin's current trade price hanging between $55,000 and $60,000 in early May 2024, mining would become entirely unprofitable for many companies. No one can afford to sell Bitcoin for a loss of $15,000 plus the high electricity bill. So for the first time in Bitcoin history, the traditional buy-the-dip strategy based on a halving may not work as expected. Without a significant price increase to $80,000 or $90,000 or higher, many miners may be compelled to shut down, creating a vicious loop that further depresses the BTC price. The Pi Network's evolving mining rewards function a little differently and could be far more beneficial for long-term miners like us. How does Pi stack up against Bitcoin in terms of future prospects? While Bitcoin faces a difficult battle to remain viable for miners, the future for Pi could be much better once it reaches real-world usage and adoption. Consider this. As the active Pi user base rapidly expands from our present 35+ million pioneers to mainstream audiences, the demand and utility for Pi will increase. The more people want and spend Pi on genuine goods and services, the greater its market value will rise. In some ways, Pi's diminishing mining rewards are an encouraging sign that adoption is increasing. Each decline makes Pi more difficult to get, boosting its perceived worth and exclusivity as a type of cryptocurrency. Of course, no one can foresee how high the Pi value will rise in the next years. But I'm heartened by the core team's purposeful commitment to cultivating genuine mainstream use for Pi rather than just hollow conjecture, as we've seen with some other crypto initiatives. If they are successful in bringing millions of additional firms, merchants, and consumers into the Pi ecosystem, the sky is the limit for how much each of our assets may be valued on the open market. Unlike Bitcoin mining, which becomes less sustainable over time, Pi's approach sets it to become more sustainable and profitable for us early adopters as the user base grows. So, while the short-term mining rate adjustment is painful, we must remain patient and focus on the greater picture. Lower rates today may result in a significantly higher valuation for our Pi in the future as the ecosystem thrives. But enough with the speculation about the future. Let's go into some additional important improvements for pioneers from the Pi core team, including the most recent requirements for certified pioneers. The core team has revealed new measures for validating your identity and account legitimacy in order to become a fully verified pioneer. For many of us, there is a new necessity to complete a real-life exam, which includes shooting a brief video of your face and authenticating your identity documents within the Pi app. The purpose is to avoid fake duplicate accounts and pioneer status. However, this new approach has uncovered certain difficult circumstances that the core team will need to resolve. One Pi miner told the terrible story of a friend whose wife died shortly after recording her verification video but before submitting it. Because she had previously recorded the real-life test before passing, she faced an identity validation issue when it came time to show she was the person who appeared in the video. In heartbreaking circumstances like this one, the team still needs to work out some kinks and create appropriate exceptions. For the time being, it is recommended that you retain all documents, such as death certificates, on hand in case you come across a specific instance that requires manual inspection. Overall, I'm pleased that the core team is introducing tighter identity checks, such as this real-life test. It lends more authority and credibility to the Pi project as it approaches mainstream launch. We cannot have bad actors generating phony identities and attempting to rig the system, since this would undermine the entire purpose of our safe, decentralized ecosystem. In my opinion, adding some more verification is a good idea. We discussed the recent basic Pi mining rate adjustment, compared it to Bitcoin's forthcoming problems, investigated Pi's overall value potential, and touched on new core team validation criteria. I tried to explain everything as plainly and straightforwardly as possible, but I'm sure some of you still have unanswered questions. Was any aspect confusing, or did certain areas require extra explanation? What are your top takeaways or worries from this update? I look forward to hearing your thoughts, clarifying any confusion, and continuing this discourse. What a ride! We've covered a lot today, from the recent adjustments to the basic Pi mining rate to diving deep into how Pi's future compares to Bitcoin's challenges. But before we wrap up, I want to remind you all to hit that like button if you found this video insightful, and don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with all things Pi. Now let's keep the conversation going in the comments section below. Did any part of today's discussion resonate with you? Do you have any questions or personal experiences with the verification process you'd like to share? I'm here to answer your questions and engage with each and every one of you, and remember folks, patience is key. While the short-term adjustments may seem daunting, let's keep our eyes on the prize and remain optimistic about Pi's long-term potential. Together, we're shaping the future of cryptocurrency. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy mining, pioneers.